Today's show is sponsored by Profit Accumulator, the #1 match betting service in the UK. Match betting is different to gambling. With gambling, you bet on one side, and if that side loses, you lose. With match betting, you bet on both sides. That means no matter what the outcome, you're a winner. When you sign up to Profit Accumulator, they will walk you through the whole process of how to do match betting, and as long as you follow what they tell you, you cannot lose. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description right now for your free trial, and you can start earning some real cash. Hi, and welcome along to the All Guns Blazing podcast, brought to you today by Profit Accumulator. Don't forget, the link is in the description if you want to find out more about how you can earn yourself some extra money in this January with Profit Accumulator. We got a very, very special All Guns Blazing podcast today. Joining me, of course, I have Mr. DT. How you doing, bro?
I'm all good. All smiles, all happy.
You still got that cheese out?
Cheese is there, man. Cheese is there, T-shirts there, everything's there.
And then we've also got a very, very special guest with us today. The guy who fronts the #1 Manchester United channel in the world. It is Mr. Mark Goldbridge. How you doing?
We couldn't have picked a better day, could we? We've been top of the league for a couple of weeks. We've had a great one for 3 months, and you get me on the morning after losing to bottom of the league. So, fair play. Fair play. You couldn't have picked a better day for this. I feel like crap, Robbie. When's it going to end?
You know the funny thing about it, right? You know the funny thing about it, right, is that when we were planning all the content up, I was thinking, you know what, a good day to film would be Wednesday. And then I realised that you guys have got a game on the Wednesday, and I was thinking, I wanted to do it on the Wednesday. They got Sheffield United out. They'll win that easy. So will it really make a difference to the filming? And then I thought, no, actually, you never know sometimes in some of these games. But that was a real shock last night. I mean, it was described on TV last night, a shock of the season. Would you agree with that, Mark?
It should be, but you know what? Humble in defeat, they deserve to win that, and that's the thing. We've won so many games by the odd goal, and we've had a really strong mentality. But I will always be the first, and I know you lads do it at AFTV as well. They deserve to win that. I can't complain. We didn't rattle the post 10 times. We played dreadful. You know, players that you wouldn't expect to play bad. You know, Bruno dragged down to the level of these players that have been inconsistent over the years. We can beat anybody on our day, but we can also lose to anyone. And I'm shocked, but probably shouldn't be, really. Yeah,
DT, was you thinking to yourself today, I'm dreading today, man?
No,
we're going to get United fans. They're all going to be cocky.
No, because regardless of that result, I thought that there would be cockiness anyway, because, you know, this is not directed directly at Mark, because he's not the one who's been involved in previous, you know, discussions that we have. This is more directed at Flex. And yes, I will say his name, because you know, the last one we did, Manchester United came off the back of beating PSG, Leipzig. So they had a right to be, you know, confident, shall we say. But Flex likes to go above confidence. And he likes to really grind my gears. And I'm just like sitting there thinking, nah, we're going to get it again. And I actually wanted Manchester United to go into this game top of the league. I wanted them to, because I felt that it would be...
So did I.
It would be less pressure on us, because people are looking at it and going, you're 9th in the league, they're top of the league, they're having a great season, you're not. And I don't mind that. And I said that before we went to Old Trafford. Everyone write us off. There were people saying that they were going to beat us at Old Trafford 3-4-0. We were completely dismissed before that game. Yes, I understand why, because our record at Old Trafford is abysmal, but there was no respect shown towards us at all. And that was a game well before we had the season that we're having, and that run of games of defeats and everything else. There was just no respect for us as a club beforehand. So I was kind of just going into this thinking there will be that cockiness about them. Rightly so in some respects, because they were or should have been top of the league. But I'm looking forward to the game, man. I'm really looking forward to the game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it now even more than ever, because I'm a bit different to you. I actually think it's a better result for us, them losing. I mean, me and my brother was arguing about it this morning, And he's saying to me, no, it's a worse result because now they're going to be stung and they won't be complacent. I'm like, they wouldn't have been complacent against us anyway. They know that that's a big game. They know that Arsenal are on form. They're going to be, it's not like they're going to go into that game with any form of complacency. But I just feel that the confidence is knocked a bit. I mean, they've been all conquering. I mean, speaking to guys like Mark and that, some of it like they won the league already. I had to remind Flex the other day that, we were still in January. It wasn't May yet. So, and listen, I understand it. If it was us, we'd be the same, right? But I just feel that the confidence is going to be knocked a little bit, isn't it? It's going to be you've lost to the bottom club in the league who up to that game yesterday had only won one game. So to lose that game, you start to, naturally as a player, why are you laughing? But naturally as a player, you're going to be thinking to yourself, you know what? We got to be careful here. I mean, your mindset is going to change a little bit. I don't know what you think, Mark.
100. I mean, look, I already knew, regardless of the result, coming into this game, I was going to not come on and start going, we're going to win. I've watched a lot of Arsenal over the last 6 weeks. I was actually quite vocal saying that you shouldn't sack Arteta. I could see what he's doing at Arsenal. I can see similarities to what needs to happen with what's happening with United, and we're still a work in progress. And I think Arsenal won't get top 4 this year, and I don't think there should be an expectation of that. But I watched them against Southampton. I watched them in the FA Cup, and I thought he's given up the FA Cup there because he's not put a strong team out. But the 3 points on Tuesday were probably more important and totally deserved. And Arteta's beat Solskjaer twice. So regardless of whether we'd beaten Sheffield United 6-0 or lost 2-1, I think that this game, Arsenal were always going to be up for it, and it was always going to be a difficult game. So I was always worried about this. And I think for me, well, obviously we need to win it even more now. It was always going to be very difficult. And I think Arsenal and Arteta have a way of playing against Solskjaer's style of football that is problematic. But I do agree with you, Robbie. I think that we're capable of going on runs like this. When Ollie first got the job, he went on a 3-month run. At the end of last season, he went on a 3-month run, basically. And we've been on a 3-month run again. What happens is, when the bubble bursts, we don't respond with another 3-month run. We tend to go in, the heads drop. And this could be a bit of a... I'm not confident on Sunday, and Saturday night, and I don't think many United fans are for all the reasons I've just said there. I think I'm not convinced that we have a team that responds to bad results. I think we're great when we're winning, and then I think we struggle when the bubble.
You do have that unbelievable away record, though.
Yeah. 8 wins, 2 draws, no losses.
Sorry, say it again.
8 wins, 2 draws, no losses, and we've not lost in a calendar year away either. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is a good run.
So, I mean, you know what? He touched on something there, Mark, DT, right? And I know you've been a big defender, right, of Arteta. You even had an Arteta in T-shirt on the other night. It's been very mixed from Arsenal fans up until you don't really hear as much now, but it's been very mixed. You've had some fans that have been pretty vocal saying that they think he should have got the push. There's been other fans that have stuck with him like yourself and been very patient with him. Is there an argument when you look at what Solskjaer is doing? And I have to say, I've been in the past thinking, this guy, he's out of his depth. They need to get rid of him. But they've stuck with him. And look where they are now. I mean, if you then even look at Chelsea, how quickly they got rid of Lampard, right? During the week, they brought in Tuchel. I know it's only the first game, but they didn't get a win in that game. I mean, do you think more patience needs to be shown in managers and that Solskjaer proof of that?
Yeah, they do, because, like yourself, I'm one that don't rate Solskjaer or didn't rate him, and he surprised me this season. Some of their results, I think some individual brilliance has helped him along the way. Looking at Manchester United's games, the one Achilles heel that they seem to have is they go a goal behind, and then that needs to happen for them to react. So when they went 1-0 down, last night, I was like, yeah, they'll win. They've done it multiple times this season. I saw the stat on it, and they got the most points from losing positions, and it was just inevitable. It's like they need that, like a jab in the arm, to wake them up. So I was like, okay, but yeah, just the way that they've been playing, they've just been slowly going about their business. They've been a lot better than last season. I think the main reason for that is Bruno Fernandes. Because if you compare last season before he came along, Manchester United were going towards January in a similar position and kind of form that we were in this season. And there was a point last year where they were 15th in the league. There was all the Ollie out and everything else. And then January come around, Bruno Fernandes signed. And I don't think even Manchester United fans thought that he would have the impact that he's had. I didn't think it. You know, most players, they need time to adapt to a league. They've got to, you know, get used to everything. And he, when you look at him on the face of it, he looks like a player that's quite slight in his build. So you naturally think, is he going to be tough enough for the Premier League? He's going to get whacked and thrown up in the air, and will he be able to handle it? And you know what? Fair play to him. He has handled it. And, you know, he's starting to move away from the whole Fernandes thing. As you know, he's got more to his game. He has got a lot more to his game. And you've got to hold your hands up in that respect. But you've got to give managers time. You've got to let them rebuild. And, you know, United and Arsenal got similarities with owners and people that are not happy with what gets done there. And are they getting the full support of the board and the people behind them? And yeah, Chelsea, it's a different thing with Chelsea because they begin, you know, Lampard was given an open checkbook basically. And it was like, I feel that Lampard looked around European football and went, who's the best at the minute? I'll have him, I'll have him, I'll have him, I'll have him. But there was no real thought process into building a team. But United and Arsenal, there's a similarity in that respect that they're trying to rebuild from greater past. But yeah, you've got to back the manager and back the process that is. I don't want us to be in the position that we're in. It's not acceptable. No, it ain't. But I understand that we've got to go somewhere. We've got to get somewhere. And I've always said to you, Robbie, I've said it all along. Judge Arteta at the end of this season, his first full season. Give him until then. Give him transfer windows and let him see what he can build. And it's nice at the moment we're going on a bit of a run. Second most informed team in the Premier League over the last 6 games. And we've got to continue that momentum. We've got to, because we've got a run of games coming up now, which are tough. Very tough.
So Solskjaer, your fans, Mark, they're all right behind him now.
No, I don't think they are. You know, I think there are. I saw it last night, you know, the usual crowd on social media, you know, some with a platform, some not, you know, but the looks ran out and he's got no tactics and we're a team of individualism, which is a nonsense. You know, he has got tactics. I think that the reason we win away from home and the reason we don't win at home, I think our home record is 4 losses, 4 draws. 4 losses, 4 wins and 2 draws. But of the 4 wins, we've won by 1 goal 3 times. So what Ollie does is he sets a team out. Sometimes he'll put McFred there in front of the back 4 and he'll hit a team on the break. And I think at home, teams know we're going to do that. So we don't break teams down. So we're good away and we're bad away. We're bad at home, but he's a work in progress. I mean, look, I when we got Solskjaer, and I'm sure some people feel the same about Arteta, I didn't expect us to get Jurgen Klopp or Pep Guardiola. I knew we were going to get a manager that we were going to have to be patient with. And I still see the issues with Ollie, like his late subs last night, not taking off certain players. But it's like, you know, he's done a lot of good and we are definitely getting better. It's not at the pace that we want. You know, you get top of the league. We were very excited because we didn't expect that. I don't think we'll be top of the league again this season now Man City are there. But it's definitely progress. And I agree with what DT said about...
Wait.
He's pulled me back in.
What did you think? You don't think you'll be... So you don't think you're going to win the league then? Because the other day...
No, I never...
I saw you were boasting hard time, right? Big time, saying that you thought you are, you know, this is it. We're all now way to the league and stuff like that. Now
I think I've sang we are top of the league and I think I've enjoyed it, but I've never said we win. I've always said we've probably got a 20% chance of winning it. I think City or Liverpool are favourites, but I'll be first to admit to say I've enjoyed it. I bloody loved it. It was great while it lasted.
You've had one setback, right? And you know how crazy this season is. Surely you've got to have some. You're just saying this, isn't it? You've got to have some confidence that
we got win. We got Southampton, and we got Everton. If we can win or even take 7 points from them 3, I'll be like, that's bloody impressive. But I just fear that you know, we probably have got ahead of ourselves a bit as a fan base, and I know why. I understand that. But I look at City and I think that I don't think Liverpool are in it anymore. I don't think Liverpool are in it anymore, but I just think City will just move away gradually. I'm not saying they're going to win it by 20 points, but I think they'll show the consistency. I'll be very surprised if we can get back into it. We're not out of it by no means. And, you know, one loss, as we all know, as bad as it is, you know, you can move on from that, and what a perfect game we've got. But there's definitely doubters about Solskjaer still within the fan base, yeah, to answer your question. PT,
right, if we beat them, yeah, I think we'd be about, how many
7 points?
7 points behind them. And not only that, if we beat them and then City have got Sheffield United, I don't think Sheffield United are going to do what they did to United again.
No.
Right? I don't think they'll do that to City. I think the thing is, right, where it's unfortunate for Sheffield United, if City would have been watching that game yesterday, they'd be like, oh, we ain't taking no chances when we're playing. So I don't expect them to do, I mean, that would be a miracle. They beat United and City, right? So you'd expect City to win. If we beat United, they'll be like 6 points off the top, right? And City will have a game in hand on them. All of a sudden, you know, the grief we've been getting off of Man United fans over them, because I don't know about, I give Mark his dues. I've seen him lording it up, but he hasn't actually lorded it up on me. Flicks, on the other hand, and many other United fans were telling me that literally they thought the league was done. They had won it, right? But we could put a serious dent in their chances of winning the league. And I do believe, let me just say, right, I do believe they have a good enough team to win the league. I've been scared that United will win that league because I feel they have a good enough squad to do it.
Do you know what I think? I don't think they have a good enough defence to win the Premier League. I think that goal scorers win you matches, defenders win you titles.
Yeah, defence has been decent.
It's not nowhere near good enough to win the Premier League. Manchester City are where they are and doing what they're doing because they've got the best defence in the Premier League. That's a simple fact. You know, Arsenal got the third best defence in the Premier League. Third best. After Martinez conceded 3 goals against Burnley, you know, they've conceded more goals than us now and played 2 games less. So defensively, we've been good in that department. It's just getting the balance between attack and defence. But United, I just don't think that they've got that capability of winning the league because of their defence. And I think if you ask, Robbie, if you ask most Manchester United fans, and you can ask Mark in a minute, I think he will say that the defence is too inconsistent to go on and win a title, because we've already alluded to the point that they always go 1-0 down. And what that does is it puts the pressure on Bruno, on Martial, on Rashford, and all these other players to go and get them out of jail. They can't keep scoring 2-3 goals a game to make up for what their defenders did. Looking at the goals they conceded against Sheffield United, that second goal was calamitous. It's not about, you know, Axel sticking his leg out and it deflects over De Gea. That's natural. When the ball comes at you like that, your reaction is to move your leg to try and defend it. That's not the issue. It's before that. You go right back to the ball coming across the box and Harry Maguire just intercepting it and then not clearing it. At that point, pull it in row Z, put it miles away and regroup as a defensive unit and go again. But he tries playing out from the back and he just looks clumsy. This is a guy that costs more than Virgil van Dijk.
He has been having a good season, though, hasn't he? Yeah, I mean, he started.
But Robbie, you can say that, but I just think that.
No, he has, though. It's true. He started off.
No, but Robbie, again, if you speak to Manchester United fans, I think you'll be split down the middle when they speak about Harry Maguire. They'll be
probably more than that.
Let me ask a United fan. Maguire, Mark, I thought listen, I know he had a really ropey start, right? And there was all the controversy around him and stuff like that. But I think since then, he scored last night as well. Don't forget that, yeah? He's been having a decent season, I think.
The thing is about Maguire is he got man of the match on our player rating show, and I'm confused by it because he's the captain of the team. He's captain of the team, and DT's right. There was a point where, I mean, people are slating De Gea for last night. One, he got a push in the back, and the other one deflected past him. I mean, sometimes agendas run out, really. But Maguire should have put that in row Z, and he plays a 2-yard pass to De Gea, who's not got time to adjust, so tries to pass it out. He can't boot it. So, but Maguire plays well with Eric Bailly, and Eric Bailly isn't the first choice centre-back. Lindelof is. So if I was an Arsenal fan, I would be very encouraged that it will be Lindelof and Maguire on Saturday, because I think they're a bloody nightmare. I mean, Rio Ferdinand has described them as a bloody nightmare. So, and he's an ex-United centre-back. So Lindelof and Maguire together, Maguire's probably a 5 out of 10 this season. Maguire and Bailly, I'd put him up at a 7. He plays well with a quick centre-back next to him. With Lindelof, they're a bloody nightmare.
Okay. We're getting the insights there.
This is the thing, Robbie. When I saw the Manchester United team last night, the first thing I thought was like, why is Axel Tuanzebe playing there when like Lindelof's there? Where's Bailly? And then I heard that he got a knock, and then I was like, oh, hold on a minute. Listen to Solskjaer's pre-match, and I was like, you know what? If that's just a little knock that they're just precaution over, and he'll be ready for Saturday, then I think Lindelof would have started last night.
Yeah,
Lindelof. It was as though Solskjaer knows that Bailly's not available for Saturday, and he didn't want to, play one of the 2 centre-backs, give him a little break, take Lindelof out, put Tuanzebe in, because he thinks it's Sheffield United as well. There is that part. Him and Harry will be all right together against Sheffield United. They've only scored 11 goals all season. We're at Old Trafford. We'll be fine in that respect. Lindelof can be ready for Saturday. So if Bailly's not playing, then I'll be even more confident about Saturday, because that's one guy that I have been impressed over.
You're sounding a little bit too confident at the moment.
No. But Robbie, why can you not go into it? Why can't you be confident with the form that we're on at the moment? You also look at the end of the day. People can say Manchester United will be like a wounded animal and they want to come out.
They will be.
But the fact that but you're contradicting what you said earlier on, because they're also, what you remember, is wounded. So why don't you go for the throat to a wounded animal? Go for the kill. And that's the thing. And you also referenced that we could put a serious dent in their title charge. I'm going to be very honest. I couldn't care less about their title run and what we could do to them. I care about us getting 3 points and trying to propel ourselves even further up this table, and by some miracle, challenge for a Champions League place. Because we're right in and amongst it. Whether people like it or not, we're 4 points behind Liverpool. If they don't win tonight, or it's a draw, whatever it is, and I know teams have got games in hand, I would rather points on the board than games in hand. Because as this season shown, no game is a given. It's unpredictable. You've got to win those games in hand. So I care more about us getting 3 points, trying to quietly go about our business and just get ourselves in and amongst it. If at the end of that, we can dent Manchester United's process, great. I'll love it. But my first thought, 3 points, get us to where we need to go. I couldn't care less about where they want to go.
All right. What have you made of Arsenal, Mark?
I've seen quite a bit of them over the last 6 weeks, because obviously when I thought Arteta was going to get the sack, I thought, I'll make sure I'm watching that so I can get all my tweets ready and everything. But to be fair, I think that I like the thing I've always said about Arteta, and you'd know more than me, is because I don't watch them that much, is that I've always been a bit confused about it, because for a coach that sat with Pep, I never understood the back five. I always felt he was doing a little bit what Ollie did last year, which was play it, keep it tight, try and nick a goal, which you can sort of understand when you haven't got the players. But what I've seen over the last few weeks is I haven't really seen that back five as much. I've seen more of a back four. I've seen more playing on the front foot. I was really impressed with him against Southampton, and I think that, that Smith Rowe has surprised me. Didn't know anything about him. Massive. I really like Saka. I remember him playing against us 18 months ago at Old Trafford. I really like him. And when you've got some young players coming through like that are talented, and then the players start playing for the manager, which I think they are now, which was the problem at Chelsea and at United. The players could have sacked Ollie. They could have sacked him in autumn, but they didn't. They stuck with him. So he's got the players on side. He's obviously a good coach. I've seen that against United. This is what worries me about Saturday. He does seem to know what to do against us. the problem with Arsenal is, I always say this, and obviously as the biggest Arsenal fan outlet yourselves, a lot of responsibility lies with you as well. I don't know whether he'll get the patience, because I do look at your fixtures. I don't know what's going to happen on Saturday, but you have got games where you could lose because it's a really hard league. You could lose 2 or 3 at some point over the next 2 months, and then is he back in danger again? Do the board get a little bit tetchy? I look at Arsenal and I think if you give him 2 years and he gets the transfer windows he needs, in 2 years' time, you might be a top 4 side again. But will your fan base be that patient? Because I think he's a good coach. I just think he's going to need to. You're going to have to ride the roller coaster. He's going to make mistakes. You're going to lose games, and if you acknowledge that and work forward, you're better off sticking with. I mean, I'm so glad you didn't get Tuchel. I think he's shit. I think you're better off sticking with what you got at the moment.
Okay. You know what? I've got something for both of you, right? A Profit Accumulator response to this show. They do this matchup, right? So you get 2. It's always 2 people, 2 players, managers, or whatever, and you match them up to say, who do you think is the best? And as we've got you here, Mark, I thought I'd do a Man United Arsenal one.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
You guys can both argue your case.
They better not pick Martinelli against Greenwood, because I hate all this. Martinelli's better than Greenwood.
Wait a minute. It's not Martinelli over Greenwood.
It's going to be the managers.
It's Saka or Greenwood.
Oh,
which one of those 2 players are the best young player around? Which one of them is going to have the bigger future, right? Out of Saka and Greenwood, because I know that United fans, we hear you guys speak very highly of Greenwood. I've heard Solskjaer before say he's the best finisher at the club. So you've got Greenwood and Saka at Arsenal, who's been, brilliant since he's come in. Both of them have come through the ranks at Greenwood at Man United, Saka at Arsenal. Which one of those 2 is going to have the bigger future? Is going to be the better player? Who wants to go first?
I'll let Mark go first. He's the guest.
I just said that. I mean, I really do like Saka. He's a good player, very good player, and I don't say that kindly about any rival team. So I do really rate him. And if there's one player I would take from Arsenal, it would be him. But with Mason Greenwood, I can't go back on what I've said over the last 2 years. I think he's better than Rashford. I think he's got the potential to be a world superstar. He's that good. He's really had. I'm in a weak spot, really, because Arsenal fans will be laughing about this. But he's had a really bad 5 months. He's had the England thing. He's had some personal issues where, one of his best mates took their own life. It's difficult times. I think it's really difficult for teenagers in lockdown anyway, whether you're a multimillionaire footballer or not. It's been a real struggle for him. And that's obviously impacted him on the pitch. So he's not been his best this season. But on pure talent, and that's what you're asking me about, Robbie, and where they're going to go, I've always said that Mason Greenwood can be anything he wants to be. And obviously there are people like Ravel Morrison who got nowhere near that, and that's always a pitfall. But with the right guidance and the right application, I think Mason Greenwood will be one of England's best strikers and one of the best strikers in the world. But a lot of things have got to go his way for that. I think he's a fantastic player. Yeah, I genuinely have said it for so long. He can be anything he wants to be, that lad. He's better than Rashford as a talent, and look at what Rashford's doing.
All right. DT?
I do rate Greenwood, but Saka's producing on the pitch week in, week out and doing what everyone says Greenwood's going to do. You're probably best doing a matchup between Greenwood and Nketiah because their stats are the same this season. There's no comparison.
It's about the future. He says who's going to be the best, not who's the best.
I'm speaking
now.
about now first, because if Bukayo Saka is playing at the level he's playing right now, then as Arsenal fans, you've got to look at that and say, where's the future going to be? Because the sky's the limit. This is a kid that was playing in a team, and look, let's be real about this. Manchester United have had a great season. They've been top of the league for a couple of weeks. They're in and amongst things. They were in the Champions League. So he's in a better environment to be able to play his football and thrive. Bukayo Saka was a kid that is in a team that were being spoken about relegation. And when Aubameyang wasn't turning up and players weren't performing, it was on his shoulders to drag us through. And he's been doing that throughout the course of the season. And now the rest of the players are starting to gel and starting to perform. He's starting to flourish even more and come out even more. So in terms of Saka, the sky's the limit for him and where he wants to go. And, you know, as Arsenal fans, the one thing we know about him is how much of a humble boy he is, how much, you know, he does everything the right way. And the way he lives his life outside of football and everything else, he's got such a promising future ahead of him, man. You know, I think, don't get me wrong, I think that I've always said this with the youngsters. There's always been this comparison, Martinelli, Greenwood, you know, Foden and Saka and everything else. And it's like, we've got some serious talent coming through for England right now, and it bodes well for the future if we get rid of Gareth Southgate, which is another debate for another time. But right now, for me, it's Saka by a country mile, man. He's producing week in, week out, whereas Greenwood's kind of stuttering. And if I was a Man United fan, I'd start to worry as to what's going on and why he's not developing and what's holding him back, because the rest of the team's doing good, but why is he not?
It's not just him though. I think there's a lot going on, and you look at, you know, Martial's not a teenager, is he? Rashford's been a bit in and out. So, but I like Saka. I do like Saka. He's the one.
Actually, I've got another one for you two, right? As you say that, Mark, Martial or Pepe, two players. They're so similar to me in that.
You've caught me on such a good day for this one, Robin. I literally gave him 1 out of 10 last night, and it hurts me because I love Martial, but I gave him 1 out of 10. I said even I can't stick up for him last night. But you know what?
Do you know what it is, right?
Go on.
Do you know what it is, right? He reminds me so much of Pepe, right? And you can see in patches that he has all the ability in the world, right? But it's when he feels like it, and it's the same with Pepe. So I'm asking both of you, which one would you rather? Martial or Pepe? Which this is an interesting one.
Do you know what? Let me go.
You first on this one.
The thing is, right, I do rate Martial, and I think he's got something in his locker. But the problem with how long do Manchester United give him? Because he's been at the club for years now.
25
a long time. A long time. I think he'll be close to a testimonial soon. He's been there that long. But it's like, every year, it's kind of like, right, this player's going to unlock Pogba and Martial and everything else, but they never do. You've got Bruno Fernandes behind you, but yet you're not going to other levels. It's, you know, over the last few weeks, I've seen a lot of talk now where people are going, Martial out, Cavani in. Has to be Cavani, has to play. You know, and when I watched certain clips that were being shown of last night, the way Martial was 4 or 5 yards away from a player and there was no pressing, there was no urgency, and he's just kind of, if I tell you, I'd be livid. I was fuming with Pepe.
The thing is, though, DT, then on another day, he's unplayable. He's a sort of guy that,
I understand that.
When you see that guy, you know what? It gives me, right, so many things like him and Pepe. Because the both of them, right, when I see them cut in sometimes, you're like, hey, something's coming, something's going to happen. They're both like, and they both got the same kind of style, where it's like,
I get that.
It's like, I can't be bothered. But I don't know, it's so
I don't think it's close, you know. I don't think it's close. I think you're doing a disservice to Martial. I mean, I like Pepe. I do take the piss out of him, but I thought he was a good signing. But Martial was our player of the year last year. He's fell on bad times in the last 3 months. And look, he should not be in the matchday squad against you on Saturday. That's how bad he was. Appalling. Appalling. You cannot. No Arsenal or United player. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter who you are. Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira. You put a performance in like that, you should not be in the squad on Saturday. That sends. He wasn't tracking back. He didn't. Well, I don't care who you are. And I love Martial. He shouldn't be in the squad on Saturday. Disgusting performance. But Pepe has not produced in an Arsenal shirt what Martial has done in the last 18 months, and that's the problem with Pepe. He's a fantastic player. You tell me, I can never understand it. Every time I watch him, I'm like, I can't understand it. He's got so much talent.
It's a mixed bag with Pepe. The problem is that you look at his performance against Southampton, you're like, right, That's Pepe. We know what's in his locker. Causes problems left, right, and centre. Nutmegs people for fun. Runs around like he's playing in the streets. And then you get performances like we've seen some this season where you're like, oh my God, I'm doing my nut about this. And I just don't get it. And that's the thing. I think both of them are just as frustrating as each other. I just, you know, obviously Man United will pick Martial, we'll pick Pepe. I think more of a comparison will probably be Martial and Lacazette this season, because they're the two that always get mentioned. It's always them two. I don't think it's much Martial and Pepe. It's more Lacazette and Martial. But so far this season, Lacazette's having a better season. Double figures already. Scoring goals, you know, for fun.
Giving the steam off my piss, Lacazette.
What's that?
I can't stand Lacazette. I just can't stand. He's such a. I mean, look, it's a great thing for Arsenal.
Did you
but
just about say dives? Did you just?
He worries. Oh no, mate! I've said it about Lacazette for years. He's so clever. I can't believe our referees don't pick up on it. He's so clever.
Don't even try that one about.
Yeah, but I'm not going to notice it. I'm not going to notice it. I'm not going to be, oh, Bruno, you've dived there. But Lacazette, because I don't really like Arsenal, I watch him. I'm like, bloody hell, he's done it again. He's gone now. Look,
he's gone. I think you upset him so much of that diving fee. He's gone.
Yeah,
right?
No, he's. I mean, Lacazette's having a better season last year.
He's having a good season. He will be a threat. Definitely come Saturday. He thinks he's back now, but he's having a good season, isn't he?
I fancy you to get a penalty actually on Saturday, because that's what won it last time. But that was your goal of the month, wasn't it? That Aubameyang penalty. No, seriously, I do fancy you to get a penalty without.
That was the best goal. That was the best goal. That was the only goal that we needed that month. That was a beautiful penalty.
You didn't win again after that, did you? You like, that was it. I just remember Troops doing that dance, and it was like that was it. That was the nail in the coffin. You didn't win till about December, did you?
Listen, I got implicated in that dance. That is the worst thing. I was not even there. I weren't doing the dance, but everyone still keeps atting me. Like, yeah, take your time with it. I'm like, I've nothing to do with me.
But you know what? That's why it's a dangerous game, because I said it all week. You can't knock. It's a big game, and Arsenal have not had a great season, have they? You know, you're doing well now. You've not had a great season. Very important. When you're not having a great season, these games become even more important. Like last year, you beat us 2-0. You finished 8th, but still people will be coming on, Arsenal fans, saying, we beat you 2-0. It's a massive game, and I think Arsenal will be up for it big time.
I think it's an intriguing one.
Against the real sort of tradition, I can't even say top 6, big 6 at the moment, because
what's the tradition?
But against the traditional big 6, United haven't had a great record this season, have they?
Lost to, well, I don't know. Yeah, are we putting you in that? Because if we put you in that, then that means we lost to that. Chelsea drew with Liverpool, drew Man City. I mean, there's a lot of draws there. We lost to you and Spurs, and we've drawn with Chelsea and City and Liverpool.
That's not a great return, though, isn't it? Against the
No. I think it's the same as our home record, because I think all of those have been at home, actually, funnily enough. So yeah, it fits in with what I said before. Again, at home, we play a certain way where we basically just say, let's have a 50-50 game. But then the away team will have a little bit of a go, get a penalty and nick it. Chelsea obviously played a boring game against us, and Man City did. But I think hopefully that will change in the second half of the season, because we've got to play you and Spurs and Chelsea and City and Liverpool, we've played Liverpool away, actually. So a lot of those were home games, and I just think we're better away from home. We are better away from home.
What I want to ask you guys now, right, is there's been lots of great games between us in the past. Want each of you to pick a game, Man United, Arsenal, your favourite Man United, Arsenal game in the past. Let's go with you first, Mark.
Well, I mean, look, I loved it when Ryan Giggs scored that goal, but my favourite one is, I'm trying to remember if I'm getting to get the score right. Keane scored 3-2 at Highbury. Remember that one? I think you were 2-1 up and Keane scored a couple of goals. Yeah, I actually think it was the one where it happened in the tunnel as well. I get mixed up, but That's my favourite one because I was in a pub in Ireland. I lived in Ireland at the time, and there was these Arsenal fans in there. And I remember them; they were like giving it the big one when they went in front, and then we won it 3-2. So I really enjoyed that, and I just love those. My favourites. The best era of the Premier League was Man United Arsenal. That's the best rivalry there's ever been, and it really mattered. You had two legendary managers, two legendary captains, two brilliant football sides. None of this Liverpool Man City shit. I think that was the best rivalry. And when you won those games, it was brilliant. And when you lost them games to like that Thierry Henry volley and Lundberg, and this, you came to us and you won the title with Wiltord, it really hurt. So there's probably loads.
Those games were literally title deciders, even when they played early in the season. You know what I mean? So,
the Ryan Giggs one's the big one, obviously, because it won the cup and you should have won it on penalties, and that had everything, a Roy Keane red card. But I did really enjoy that one when Keane scored 2 at Highbury. I liked that chip from John O'Shea as well. And Ronaldo running to the crowd, shush. There's been quite a few, actually, haven't there? There's probably going to be loads for DT.
All right. DT.
8-2. Although I didn't enjoy that. I didn't enjoy that, I did, but it wasn't.
Oh, yeah, you didn't enjoy the 8-2. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
No, but it wasn't a classic United Arsenal game. I mean, it was a weird team from us. You were absolutely shite. God knows who was playing for you. I mean, it's always one to rub the salt in the wounds, but the best games are always the ones where you play a good Arsenal side, you have a good game and you win it. They're always the best. Oh, sorry.
What about you, DT?
There's loads. The original Battle of Old Trafford, 91. And I was only a young boy and I was in the away end that day. What was I, 11, 12 years old? Proper fight. Good old scrap. Anders Limpar scoring from near the corner flag, and there was no goal line technology then. Won the game 1-0, got deducted 2 points that season, and we still won the title. Then the second Battle of Old Trafford, another good scrap. And we went on to be invincible. When we won the league at Old Trafford, that was the one. Wiltord! We even went into that game without Thierry Henry. We weren't that bothered. So, there's been some epic games. And you go to Highbury, the one where Henry flicks it up and spins on Neville and puts it over Barthez. The one where we won 3-1 at Highbury and Barthez slipped over and Henry slid it in. Back in the day, that one that Mark talks about with Ryan Giggs, that hurt because I was at Villa Park that night and Bergkamp misses a penalty in the last minute to win the game. And United end up going on and winning the treble. So
I remember a good one in here. See if you can remember this one. I think it was 9. I always say Arsenal's best side for me that I remember was 98. We lost Roy Keane, and I'm pretty sure you won it 3-2. David Platt header. That was a good game as well.
Yeah, the corner come over and Platt headed it into the top corner and it just looped over everybody. And that was a good game as well. And there was, the infamous fight in the tunnel at Highbury where Vieira went and stuck it on Neville and then Keane come down and he's like, we'll take it out there. And listen, man, we could be all day talking about some of the battles of years gone by. They were some of the best games. I've been so lucky to be at games and witness some of these things. I'll tell you one, right? And this will go way over some people's heads, but Manchester United fans will know about this. I was at Old Trafford. I don't know what year it was. It was the first game of the season. And Manchester United brought out a guy called Michael Knight. And apparently he was going to buy the club. And he came
Knight, Neil Webb volley, 4-1.
I think you beat us 4-0 that day or something.
Yeah.
It was something.
We were going to win the league then as well.
Yeah. But I remember he came out onto the middle of the pitch and they gave him a ball and he started doing keep-ups and walking to the stretch end. And I'm sitting there as a young boy thinking, who the hell's this guy?
I must have been like 89 or 88, yeah.
Yeah, and apparently it was all one big scam. He didn't even have enough money.
They didn't have the money, yeah.
That's like Robbie turning up and going, "Oi, Stan, I'm gonna buy Arsenal and that," and then Robbie's in front of the North Bank in the clock end doing keep up. He'll get booed. Everyone would be like, "AFTV out. We don't want him buying the club." But
at least he'll get on the pitch and do some keep ups there in front of the fans.
There you go.
Hey, you know what? The other day, right? I was looking at it, and right, we were nearly going to have a title showdown, right? Not in the Premier League, but in the Super Bowl, because the Glazers own the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? And they're in the final of the Super Bowl, and the LA Rams were in the sort of playoff thing, and if they'd have won that, they would have been playing each other. So, but listen, finally, we've got to it now. It's decision time. Who is going to win on Saturday? What's the score going to be?
Oh. You want me to go first?
You first. We're at home. You're first.
Based on our recent record against Manchester United at home, which is actually very good. It's not like we're going to Old Trafford and trying to break that hoodoo. I'm going for a 2-1 win.
Okay.
2-1. Mark.
I would have been worried about this anyway, because I know Arsenal are going to be up for it. We haven't lost away in over a year. There's big prizes here for Arsenal. You know, I'm going off my phone on Saturday night at 7:30 if we lose, because I'm going to put the Godfather trilogy on and not turn it on till Monday, because it is Arsenal Man United. We always want it to be a big game, but it is massive, because if we lose, any title hope probably is gone, and you take that record, which we're very proud of away from home. So I hope it's a classic. I'm going to go. I don't think you'll take the unbeaten record. I think it'll end. I think it might be a crappy 0-0. I hope it's not, but I'm going to go with a draw in this. I don't think we'll bounce back from that straight away. So I'm going to go draw.
Do you know what this is, Robbie? This is the social media derby. That's what this is, because who loses, you've got to disappear for a couple of days. You have to. Flex is very good at disappearing, because when Manchester United last lost to us, I don't know what happened. Maybe his service was causing him a problem, but he wouldn't answer his phone or respond to WhatsApp messages. So maybe he needs to speak to his provider and, see.
I've heard a lot of him, but since then, I've heard a lot from him. Trust me.
Yeah, a hell of a lot.
I'll tell you what, I'm just going to go off my phone anyway, because if Troops can say that about Willian, God knows what he'll say about me if you win on Saturday night. I mean, I don't want to be tagged into that.
I'm going, you know what? I think it's going to be a really tight game. It's going to be, Arsenal have got a much better defence. I think it'll be a tight game, but I think a couple of goals. 2-1, Odegaard assist for the winner. Because I think he might play some part. He could come on and play some part. And I think it would, at the start of this week, this is the thing about football. At the start of this week, my feelings around this game would have been completely different. We just got knocked out of the cup. You just beat Liverpool. You guys want to hide. Then all of a sudden, during the week, we have a comprehensive win over a very good Southampton team away from home. You guys get beaten at home to Sheffield United. And all of a sudden, you're like, well, actually, no, we got a chance. I honestly didn't think we would, only based off of the fact that we got good home form against United, would have been the only case I'd be making for winning that game. But now,
what's your own record like? Because I know Villa smashed you up there.
Yeah, the home record, to be fair, it hasn't been great from Arsenal. You haven't been great at home, so that's
hard for everyone at home, isn't it? It's hard to get up for it.
It's such a crazy season. I mean, I think last night's game, I don't think had that have been played in front of your fans, I don't think they would have allowed your players to have been that flat. Yeah. They wouldn't have allowed it.
And it's the same with you, isn't it? I mean, Gary Neville said that.
At worst, that would have been a draw. That wouldn't have been a lot.
Yeah, it's
too many sideways passes. The fans wouldn't have it. They'd be like, no.
It's changed the dynamic of games. I mean, you do not know what's going to happen. There's no advantage to playing at home no more. You know what I mean? So the tactics have all been adjusted and changed. You know what I mean?
Well, managers can be they can be lazy with their subs, can't they? Like Martial would have been booed out of that game after an hour. And I know that sounds horrible, but he was that bad. Every touch would have been, when he's not running, he would have had to sub it. But
the crowd has that influence. It has an influence.
Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah, it's a good point.
It's the whole dynamic.
Do you know what?
Imagine this game, right? This Saturday, with the same circumstances that you guys got a chance to go in top, right? And we've got a chance to sort of move up the table on a bit of momentum. Could you imagine everybody going into that game? The atmosphere around that game. It's so.
Referees are influenced by it as well.
Yeah,
that's not going to be there. Yeah. And I think it's going to be a great game. So many great matchups. You know, the ones I'm looking at, like Partey and Pogba. So interesting to see how that's going to shape up in the midfield. You know, I can't wait for the game because I think I think with our first team, Arsenal, if they can get, I don't know if Aubameyang will be ready for that game, but if you've got Arsenal's first 11 versus United's first 11, I think Arsenal got a chance. I think if it's Arsenal's squad against their squad, we haven't got a chance. So it's going to be a good game. It's going to be
interesting. The thing is, Robbie, as well, you're looking at one thing. Manchester United made 5 changes in their FA Cup tie, rested players, and it had the week in mind with Sheffield United and Arsenal. And then they didn't win the game against Sheffield United. So ultimately, it's, you know, even though they beat Liverpool, they didn't win the game, which I feel that Manchester United would have rather won. You know, I know you don't like losing to Liverpool because that's just a whole nother rivalry. But I think if you ask Man United fans, take 3 points or go on a cup run, they would have took the 3 points because they want the league title.
Well, if Liverpool beat Spurs tonight, Liverpool have had the better week, even though they've lost to us.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It swings and roundabouts. We were getting criticised, or Arteta was getting criticised for resting 7 players. Incidentally, 5 of those weren't actually available because they were injured, which just shows that people need to shut their mouth and let Mikel pick the team that he has available to him. And then we go and beat Southampton on Tuesday. So it's justified. And we did what we had to do. It is what it is, man. Swings and roundabouts. Weird season. I can't wait for this game.
Can't wait for the game. Listen, I want to thank you both for today, DT, as usual, on All Guns Blazing podcast. Thank you very much, Mark, for coming on. Mark Goldbridge, of course, United Stand. I'm going to be on United Stand on Friday, so make sure you check that out as well. And also check out the watch-alongs for your various team. Mr. Goldbridge, king of the watch-along. I give him that title, man. He's the guy who showed.
You lot are doing quite good now.
We're trying our thing. We got our different style of doing it.
Very different. I like it. Yeah.
The guy who used to. I always say to Mark, right, when I talk to him, I go, I remember when people used to slate you and say, "Oh, this guy, he's sat in his fucking bedroom in front of his green screen," and now everyone's doing it. So,
well, where's your green screen gone? Because I was getting tagged in all this. Have you retired it now?
Listen, do you know what it was? Right, it wasn't even directed at you. Yeah, I was in the middle. Wait, listen. I was in the middle of having my studio rebuilt and redone. And if you look at my videos from a couple of months ago, I had none of the pictures all sorted and on the frames and everything else. So I was in the middle of doing the rebuild, and I was like, it's going to take me about 10 days to 14 days max. I've got a couple of weeks. I've got nothing. I don't want a plain background on my wallpaper or anything. And I had a green screen because we were using it for my football team.
You just happen to have a green screen.
Robbie, if you shut up for a minute, I'll tell you. Right? At the start of the season, my team, we were doing a photo shoot and like the player walkout stuff that they do for the team lineups. So we had a green screen. I had to get one for that. So I see the green screen. I went, you know what? I'm going to have a bit of a piss around it. I'm going to pull it up, put a background up and everything else, and just have a bit of a laugh. And it was hilarious. And immediately, as soon as I did it, everyone was like, "Oi, he wants to be Goldbridge. He wants to be Goldbridge." Straight away, I was like, "Oh my God, here we go." And then I think at that time,
I'd just say you were doing it for the laugh, because there are a few people out there who copy it so shit and think they're good. I'd just go along with the lines that I was trying to take the piss out of Goldbridge while I was having some decorating done. And in that sense, it was quite funny.
It was. That was it. I had some decorating done. I needed it sorted. Oh, Robbie will tell you. I even came on to... Robbie, tell me, you know I was taking the piss, yeah? Because there was one video we done, and I put the background on the green screen as a big mansion, like I was sitting in my front room.
I saw that one,
And there was a piano in the corner and everything. I was on a massive wind-up, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's trying to be like Goldbridge." And I was just like, "Carry on, man. Keep watching. It's all good. It's all fun."
I'm always up for for young talent copying me and nurturing young talent.
Hey,
mind you, there's certain things I've seen.
Hold on.
Let me just say, right?
Talent, lesser than young. All right. I'm 42 years old tomorrow.
Oh well, you're older than me then.
Could be happy birthday for that the Man United game.
Or it might be a kick in my face.
Well, listen, as long as we're not doing certain things I've seen recently live, we're all good, right? So
Is that legit? I mean, God Almighty! Look, I was like tagged in that, and I was just like,
yeah. Right, so thanks to everybody, right, for coming on today.
We'll talk about it off air.
Thanks.
That's getting cut.
I shouldn't have said that now. I've got him going. I shouldn't have said that. But thanks to you, Mark. Thank you very much for coming on. Thanks to everybody watching the podcast. We look forward to the game, as I said. You can watch along over on AFTV, or if you're a United fan, I suggest you go onto United fan. It's going to be brilliant. We'll catch up after the game as well. But thanks to both of you. Don't forget, you can download this podcast on all the normal formats. This has been the All Guns Blazing podcast and our Man United Arsenal special.